You're listening to Building Bold Connections, a podcast where we explore the creative ways business leaders have solved professional challenges to gain success and build net worth from their network. Joining us is Teaa Cup, the visionary CEO and founder of Spill the Tea TV. Welcome to episode 12 of Building Bold Connections.
Welcome to Building Bold Connections. I'm your host, Tyra Burton. On today's episode, we have the pleasure of speaking with Teaa Cup, the CEO and founder of Spill the Tea TV. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
We are so excited because you've just got so much to share with us. And the first thing I want you to do is to tell us about Spill the Tea and how it came about.
Okay, so Spill the Tea is I like to say community development, but I believe in that word kind of throws people off a bit, but it is a brand development agency, let's say that. So I do help people bring their ideas to life, whether that's in a physical through an event, whether that's digital through campaign or making content. So I pretty much help build communities in a physical sense or a digital sense.
So how do you go about building those communities?
Okay. Well, how I pretty much got into this, I started out having a nonprofit. So then I learned that people like feeling inclusive to things. So back when I started working with brands and throwing events, starting like 2014, 2015, I kind of saw that in the future, people are going to want to be around people that are like them. So like people that may be first time moms, they may want to be in a Facebook group or go to events with other first time moms. People that are Caribbean, they may want to go to Caribbean parties, hang out with Caribbean people, the LGBT community. So there's a lot of variety of new communities out now. So like I'm in the gaming community, for example. So I go to events and talk on Discord all day to other people that game. So I kind of saw a future for that. And I just realized that brands were going to be headed towards building that for themselves. They were going to want to create a community of people that shares like-minded ideas and things like that. So
I totally agree. I'm a gamer too. So
hey,
all over World of Warcraft for a very long time.
Okay. On a computer or?
On computer.
Okay.
So I do play a little Diablo too. So, but now we're just talking about gaming. So I want to talk about the metaverse actually.
Okay.
Because I know you've been dabbling in it. What are your feelings on it so far?
Okay, so I'm still fairly new to it. So for those that don't know, I believe the metaverse is still in beta.
I agree.
So there's like a lot of worlds being created and things like that. A lot of people kind of feel iffy about it, but it's the sort of thing where it just gives that alternate experience to creators. Because there are some people that are into gaming, into the Sims, or into like creating their own worlds in a type of sense. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, this is going to take away from da-da-da-da-da. But it's really supposed to create a different experience. So I just feel like I'm kind of excited to see because it is so new.
It is.
And it's like how much can you really do in the metaverse? That's what I'm really excited to see. So those are my thoughts for now.
So do you think bands are going to be able to use it, music artists?
Yes, absolutely. They already are. So like Travis Scott, he had a concert. He had a VR concert. Uh-huh. So he did that with like the Oculus MetaQuest, the VR headset. Yep. So like, yeah, he had a concert. And I heard somebody was telling me yesterday that Meg Thee Stallion had one too, where you could go in the movie theater. This is how they described it. So I guess you can go in the movie theater, you put on the glasses, and I guess like everywhere you turn, she's like literally right in front of you, like in a concert. So I have to look hers up on YouTube. But I remember the Travis Scott one. It was specifically in Fortnite. So you had to be on the game Fortnite, and I know you had to like enter into the concert somehow. But again, that's that alternate experience because you see his real life show, you know what that cost for him, as far as like the safety and everything like that. So that still gave fans that alternate experience that may not do crowds or may not be able to travel,
Well,
like
with
that.
The price of concert tickets these days.
Exactly.
I mean, they're just going through the roof.
Exactly.
So I also know that you're into AI as well, and it's such a hot topic right now. How do you think artists can use AI for their marketing purposes?
Okay, I had made a Chat GPT post about like how artists can use Chat GPT and AI. Pretty much AI, and I made a post about this yesterday too.
Oh,
It's pretty much meant because it's pretty much meant to be like an assistant to you.
Yes.
So it's not meant to take away from the idea, even though a lot of people are scared that AI, as much as you talk to it and train it, people are kind of scared that it's going to like make decisions for you and things like that. But just with everything, you know, it's pros and cons. You can't do too much of one thing, you know, like, you know how people were saying social media is going to be bad, but also it's good for brands. You know, it helps brands and businesses. So it's going to be the same thing with AI, at least for what I believe. But artists can use AI to, like, for one, help with budgets, help with getting work done, help with cutting down how many hands are needed on a team. So for example, I made a post yesterday. I said, okay, so an artist has a video. Now you still will need a videographer. You'll need somebody with a vision to, you know, write out how it's going to go, the mood boards and everything. You'll need, so the AI part could come if you want a green screen background. That could be the AI part. Or if you choose to use a physical background, that's fine too. But AI can help with editing. Yeah. AI can help with copywriting when you want to put it on blog sites or pitch it to people. It can help with correcting the spelling of your press release and things like that. So more so, I would say for artists to look at AI as like an aid or an assistant instead of replacing. So I know everyone got scared with like the AI rapper that was out. And then like now it's like Ice Spice. Drake had, it was an AI, I guess, machine that did the voiceover for Ice Spice remix Ice Spice Munch song. So it's like, okay, so the good and bad with that, right? So it's like, okay, well, the good thing is that it's cool. It sounds cool. It was actually his voice, right? The bad thing, you know, copyright infringement, stuff like that. That's what like labels and things were trying to block. But also that just saves time from him flying to wherever she's at, them having to get in the studio, wait on the engineer, wait on clearances or whatever from both parties, and then putting it out when you could just boom, instantly, okay, they know how to get his voice and they have her song, they know how to mesh it together. So that would be where, would be the pro and a con to it. Like, yeah,
at least they all had permission to do that.
Right.
There's a lot of AI being created where people are taking somebody's voice and putting it in a song without their permission. And I think that's going to be an interesting part for the music industry.
Very interesting.
So, let's see. So what advice do you have for people that are wanting to enter the music industry right now?
Okay, wanting to enter the music industry, I would say be very passionate about the music industry because for one, it changes so much. So I would say this, like, make sure you subscribe to a lot of music industry profiles so that you can know what's going on, like Music Business Insider, Music Business Worldwide, Billboard, things like that. Make sure you subscribe so you can know what's going on around the world, who's buying who catalogs or what company is getting this new technology, what labels are doing this, so you could just be in the know, for one.
I think knowing the business.
Right.
We sometimes forget, like, as artists, that you have to know the business behind it.
Right. And know it and understand it. Right.
So do you think that the artists that you have worked with, how have you helped them understand the business behind it?
So I pretty much help them understand. I feel like, because I studied psychology in school, so I feel like I help them understand themselves, for one. Because that's where it all starts. Like, that's where music is supposed to be a language. It's supposed to be how you express yourself. It's supposed to be how you can communicate to others. We can all be in one room. It can be like 100 of us in one room at a time. But then what's the one thing that can connect us without everybody talking? Yeah. So I try to get people to understand themselves first. What is your purpose? Who are you? What is the story or what is the message that you want to share with your audience? So
really understanding who their brand is from a heart level.
And having passion, for sure.
Oh, yeah. So you mentioned you studied psychology. How did that make you end up over at Spill the Tea?
Okay, so originally I went to school to do like study abroad, to do Peace Corps.
So well, that's a 180.
I really want to do Peace Corps. I still want to do Peace Corps, but I guess God said, you know, I have to start here first at home with helping my community. Psychology ties into music. Was that the question? How does it? Okay.
Well, no. How did you get from? What was your path from going from being that student to deciding to have your own business?
Okay, that's a good question because, like, when I first did my first like nonprofit event, it was like a Juneteenth event. So back then people weren't celebrating Juneteenth.
Right.
It was something fairly new. This was like 2014, 2015. A lot of people, it had caused like a lot of hype around it. And just with doing psychology stuff, psychology is a study of human behavior.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to like bring people together in like a likeliness of art, of fun things. But I got into it really because the people kind of asked me to do it. Like when I started doing nonprofit events and started including artists started saying they wanted more of it. So I just stopped doing more so like the charity part ish and just started focusing on artists. So that's really how I got into it. But psychology plays a role in business, right? So you need to understand human behavior to understand your consumers, to understand your audience.
Absolutely. So you've talked about building communities and how building them both online and in person. And I know that email and sometimes SMS marketing can be a big part of that. Mm-hmm. How do you do the in-person part? How do you make that transition from online to in-person?
That is a good question. I just already really felt like I've had a lot of friends. Like I've just always, I don't want to say I've always been popular, but like people just always love being around me for some strange reason. I guess because I make them feel warm or comfortable with themselves. So I've always been, I guess, a social person. But like now that I'm getting older, I may not be as social. But when you have a strong brand or when you help people or you just have good work, people reference you. Like they refer you. Okay, people know. Isha knows when she comes to an event, she's going to have a good time. Okay, so she may say, hey, if you're an artist, you want to come out, or if you want to go to a party, or if you want to be around good people, okay, I trust you to go, hey, I'll tell my friends to come to a Teaa Cup event. Yeah. So I always say word of mouth is the best form of marketing. Text messages and emailing helps because of the algorithm. You know, we don't see everything on our timelines and things like that, but word of mouth is always the best form of marketing to me. So
have good friends, I think is what you're telling me.
Do good work, be a good person,
yes,
and make sure you really stand on what you say you stand on. So
that's a good way for artists to really build those outside communities. Mm-hmm. So you see, you've owned your own business for 9 years now. What were some surprises that you did not expect when you started?
That it was going to take me a long time to make some money. For real.
No, it's true. It's true.
Like, it's crazy because I always say people can start businesses now and in 2-3 years make good money.
Yep.
It probably took me, because I heard Wendy Day say this. I don't know if y'all know who Wendy Day is, but she's a really big music exec too. You should definitely look into her. She got deals with like Eminem and Cash Money and stuff. But anywho, so I heard her say it took her 6 years to get paid for music and probably 10 years to live off music. So around that time, I would say it probably took me a very long time to start getting paid off music, because a lot of people feel like art should be something that's free.
Right.
Like people feel like, you know, oh, you shouldn't pay promoters. You shouldn't pay for interviews. You shouldn't pay for certain services. And then people will pay, but people also have to feel confident with paying, and people want to be tied to credibility. So it took me a while to build my name up for people to actually trust me and to actually say, hey, she has a reputable platform. I do want to purchase her services.
That makes sense. And I know you're Young MA's executive assistant. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit of what you're doing for Young MA?
Okay, this is probably like my second time talking about it. So pretty much when she goes on like the road and things like that, I help set things up. I keep her schedule going, her calendar going. I make sure that like producers, anybody she's working with directly, I keep a contact with them. So I pretty much assist her manager. So she has management that like sets everything up for her, but I pretty much like put the pieces together and make sure that everything actually happens. So
you just make the wheels go.
Mm-hmm.
So this year you gave away your first grant.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that. That is just so exciting.
Okay, so shout out to the Fleet State Network. Me and him had connected because he works with credit repair and he helps people like buy homes and things like that.
That's fabulous.
So exactly. So a lot of people, when they're investing into their business, they want to take out loans or be able to hire people and things like that. So we were talking, understanding what I do with community building and understanding what he does with like helping people build credit and things like that. We just came together. We both each gave $500 from our companies and said, you know, we're going to help give a grant to a business owner. So shout out to Miss Ashley Rush. She has a suite in Tucker, I believe. So it's a suite. It's a beauty salon, but then it's suites in the back. So it's something different. She's a Black woman. She wants to have like a suite for like estheticians, nails, hair, things like that. So,
well, I grew up near Tucker, so I appreciate that.
Okay,
so that's awesome. Do you hope to do it again?
We are looking to do it. So that was the first quarter we do it. So we are looking to do it this quarter as well. Mm-hmm.
So, well, I want to ask you one last question. You have a background in nonprofits, and I think nonprofits often need different ways of connecting. So what would be some really good tips you have for nonprofits trying to connect with their communities?
Okay. See what people in your community enjoy. So see what they are, or see what they are interested in. You may need to go around and do surveys, may need to actually go outside and talk to people, because you never know. Some people may say, hey, well, we're concerned about crime. Okay, well, we're concerned because we know a lot of kids that have autism, or, you know, you got to actually go talk to people and see what their concerns are, and then see how you can help or how you can fix that. Okay.
Well, because I'm a gamer, before I send you out of here, what's your favorite game?
My favorite game
to play, let's say that.
So I have a Nintendo Switch in my purse right now. My favorite game to play is Grand Theft Auto.
My husband would love that. Well, I hope you have a fabulous Grand Theft Auto day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on Building Bold Connections with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Teaa Cup.
Thank you for listening to Building Bold Connections. This has been a Coles College and Joel A. Katz Music and Entertainment Business Program production.